listing our favourites out of the 4 box sets once we knew what it would be from each edition. And give it that way instead, just to go, because we'll all be able to remember each kind of starter set from each edition. And I've also got to share here so that everybody can kind of see and remind yourselves of each edition starter set that we had for Age of Sigmar. So first edition, I don't believe really had a specific name like the others did, but was obviously Khorne one side, Stormcast on the other. Fairly nice big set. Then you had Soul Wars, which was, of course, Stormcast Nighthaunt on one side. That was second edition. And then third edition, of course, we had Dominion, which was the new Swamp Orcs, what are they called?
Cruel Boys.
Cruel Boys, that's the one. Stormcast on the other side. And, of course, this weekend we had Skaventide revealed. So I thought we'd do a fun little thing, and use of the question, I guess. And each sort of rank our least favourite to favourite. You can mix in kind of like your favourite, like the factions from each set, what's included in each starter set to kind of add towards which you think is the best starter set that we've had, or just your favourite, I guess you could say, from sort of fourth to first. So what I thought we'd do, we'd go through each of us to say our fourth favourite. We'll go with third, second, first. I'll go first then for my fourth favourite. I'm going to go with Soul Wars.
Okay.
Purely from the models that we actually got in the set, I didn't think was quite as exciting as maybe some of the others that we've had in the past. I believe you still kind of got the gaming aids and things like that, which is always nice to have in a starter set, so that there was that upside about it. I was never keen on, is it Sacrosanct as well? The magical...
The Evocators guys.
Yeah, all those guys.
Sacrosanct.
Yeah, never appealed to me as much anyway. That's my specific opinion. So that's my fourth. Andy, your fourth place?
Shockingly, it's actually Soul Wars as well.
Okay. Ooh, interesting.
That's not because I think it's a bad offering. I just think everything else is really good. Nighthaunt have never been my thing, and when you think about how good I think the Stormcast have become in future things, releases, because they've become the Thunderstrike armor, which I prefer. The Sacrosanct are just looking a bit meh.
Yeah, they're a bit roby, aren't they?
Similar thoughts to me then, really. Sai, your fourth?
Well, I agree with what you both said about the Sacrosanct. I'm not a fan either. But I do like the Nighthaunt. So my fourth one would be, and purely because I didn't actually have anything to do with it or play it, would be the first one, the first Age of Sigmar box set. There's some nice miniatures in there. Some of the Chaos stuff's really good, and some of the Stormcast are really nice. But because I didn't have any involvement in it, other than actually seeing it in a Games Workshop store when it first came out, at the time I was still like, oh, so this is what's replacing Fantasy Battle, is it? These are quite nice. And then that was it. I didn't really pick up the game until Soul Wars, and I quite like Nighthaunt. So my fourth would be the first starter set, but only by a hair.
Fair. Ben, round us off with your fourth choice.
My fourth choice is actually the Dominion box set. I really don't like the Cruel Boys models. I don't like anything on the orc side of that. I don't think that they look like orcs. I don't think that they look like anything that's kind of been an orc. The closest I can think is that they are kind of like a slightly not as good sculpt version of the Lord of the Rings orcs. They certainly don't look like an orc that I've ever seen in Warhammer up until this point, and I just don't like them. I also, as much as I like the Thunderstrike armor on the Stormcast, I don't like the fact that it comes with a special character to command the Stormcast. It feels like it ought to just be a more generic leader. So, yeah, Dominion is my least favourite.
No, that's fair. Well, you'll soon find out if how far it's fallen for the rest of us, maybe as well. We'll have to see. I'll tell you what we'll do. Ben, do you want to go with your third, and we'll come back up?
Yeah, sure. My third is actually the very first box. For very similar reasons to what Sai said, I was a huge Fantasy Battle fan, as anyone who's seen my videos on my channel knows, and I was a little bit like, this is what's replacing Fantasy, isn't it? Then I don't get it. But also, again, it comes down to certainly on the Chaos side. I mean, things like the Kargor and the guy walking a Fleshhound model is cool. If they just made it a generic Chaos Lord with a Fleshhound, I might have liked it more than, no, it's this special character. He's in all the books, and it just made that it didn't feel like a something that I can put my own stamp on. It felt like it was something that was trying to stamp on me. So yeah. But that being said, I do like both sets of the models in there. I've used the Blood Warriors that comes with that to make a whole bunch of Nurgle Chaos Warriors with some heavy conversion. I've got a whole bunch of the Liberators and the Retributors and stuff that came with that. I am glad that they have replaced the Prosecutors that came with that box because they're a bit shonky. But yeah, that's my third choice.
Okay. Si?
Soul Wars is my third choice.
Okay.
I like the Night Haunt, but I don't like the Sacrosanct Chamber. There's nothing in the Stormcast side of it in that box that makes me go, "Ooh, I like that."
Yeah.
It's just for me, it was all a bit. It's all right, but I like the Night Haunt, so yeah, that's my third.
And Andy?
That my third is going to be the first edition. I
Getting a theme now.
can appreciate it for what it is, and I think very cool. I think the Chaos side is brilliant and holds up today. You were complaining there, Ben, that you don't like the guys being named characters. That doesn't bother me at all. The Stormcast side, yeah, they're the old Marines, and I'm sorry, they're not Marines, are they?
They're the Sigmarines.
Sigmarines.
And
that's going to annoy some people.
I feel like we've advanced. I really like the Prosecutors from there, but everything else I think has been upgraded. So yeah.
This is going to be really interesting going into the top ones here. All right. For me, Dominion is third. Basically, I'm not going to add time to this. Ben, similar to what you've said, I don't like the Orcs particularly. I never did when they first revealed them. Also, I always, as we all know from previous topics we've had, wish they were the Famir instead. So that's all I'm going to say. Moving on to second. Second for me is actually Skaventide.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which for anybody who wants, and obviously at this point we'll probably give up what the first choice is, I guess, here, given that it's obvious now. So I'll run through what my order was again. Soul Wars for me, followed by Dominion, followed by Skaventide, the new box set, and the first edition box set for me is actually top. I am a fan of the old chunky Stormcast, compared the old chunky armor compared to the new sculpts. I actually prefer the old ones. So that kind of side of that set for me. Is it the Draco line in there or whatever it is? I think it was in the first edition set that he's riding.
Yeah, he's riding a Draco. No, it's
always, I don't think it is a Draco line, but it's one of those.
Something else, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
one of those things. Dracoth, possibly. Yeah, you could be right there. And then obviously, Andy, you just touched on it. The Khorne side of it, awesome. For me, one of the best sides of a starter set still to this day. I love that side. And then you get the kit and everything with it. Luckily, we're not bringing rules into this because first edition of Age of Sigmar was not good, at least in my opinion. Please don't hate on me, Age of Sigmar fans. But yeah, other than that, we're talking models and what's in the box. Number one for me is first edition. We'll go back down. Andy, your second and first.
So
choices.
My second best, I'm going to do Dominion. My first, I'm going to do Skaventide. I feel it speaks for itself. I also do not like the Orcs.
It's funny that
they never spoke to me. Because I love the Iron Jaws, the chunky, cartoonish
The Orcs.
Orcs. Yeah.
I feel like you touched on a little bit there again, Ben. When you said they look like worse Lord of the Rings orcs.
Yes. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
they look better.
They look like
Lord of the
Randall
Rings orcs,
from Monster Inc.
But they still don't look particularly good to me. So they're a bit nothing. So that's a whole side wasted in my mind. But then I think that the new Thunderstrike guys, and I think Yggdrasta looks amazing. I think the Stormcast side is so good that it brings it almost 50-50 with the first edition box for me. They're very close because I love everything. Yeah.
My favourite Stormcast half we've had actually would possibly be Dominion. I do like that half. The Stormcast in that one.
That's possibly an interesting question we should do after this, which is if you could pick a Stormcast side and a side from one of the other ones, which ones would you pick?
Yeah, we might quickly throw that in actually after. We might do that.
And then Skaventide because you get everything's cool there, and you get Spearhead. You get 2 games. There you go. Cool.
Yeah, awesome. Sai. Your
second is
choice?
Dominion. I really like the Stormcast side of that box. I think it's brilliant. There's nothing in there at all that I don't like. I love the Vindixers. I think they're awesome. I love the Thunderstrike armor. Yeah, just a really, really strong half of the box. The Cruel Boys, yeah, I don't really like them. They're a bit too tall and lanky, like I just said before. They look like Randall from Monsters Inc. That's what they remind me of, with the long necks and the face. They just don't do it for me. But Stormcast side, absolutely top notch. And then top is Skaventide for sure. Everything in that box is just amazing from what I can see. And like Andy's just said, you get Spearhead side of the box as well. It's like almost 2 games in one. It looks like it's going to be a mega box.
Ben, top us off.
So yeah, I'm ranking Nighthaunt in second place for me. I love the Nighthaunt models, and as soon as I saw this, I was like, I need the Soul Wars. Sorry, I need the Nighthaunt half. I have a Nighthaunt army composed of everything you get in that box and loads of other stuff. I don't mind the Sacrosanct Chamber stuff, to be honest. I mean, the maces I thought were a bit of an odd choice. I would have rather have seen, given that we had hammers in the first box, I would have thought swords, because my take on them was they're like, oh cool, these are like Stormcast Jedi. Like, this is every one of these is a wizard. How cool is that? And they've all got Jedi robes on. So, I mean, to the point where I've looked in the past of just converting. I might do it now that they're just going into Legends. I might just lop the maces off and give all of them swords, because I think they just be really cool Stormcast Jedi. But yeah, Skaventide is my number one. Aside from the Rat Ogres, which I have about, there is nothing in that box I don't like. The Stormcast half, every model in that is glorious. The fact that I've got basically an old world Skaven army out of that, if I get that box, is amazing. And yeah, the fact you get Spearhead in there as well as a set of separate second game is a really cool contribution.
Nice. Let us know as well in the comments, guys, what your kind of ranking would be, I guess, for the 4 starter sets that we've had. Be interested to know if anybody else hasn't put Skaventide in first there, because I thought I figured I'd probably be the only one that wouldn't have put it top, but it's more just because I do kind of prefer the old Stormcast, really, so that's what leveled it off.
Let us know in the comments as well if there's anybody out there who actually likes the Cruel Boys miniatures.
Yeah, I mean, if you want like a scenario there to kind of tell you why Dominion didn't sell that well, you know, there's literally a real life test we've just done as to probably why.
Let's very quickly then. Let's do going down from the top. Luke, which 2, if you could pick a Stormcast force and one of the other forces, which one would you pick if you could put
no real reasoning here, just for time wise? I was gonna say, it's very boring for me to say. I would probably just leave it as first edition. I'd pick both sides. But if I had to mix anything, I think the Stormcast half from Dominion with Yandastra in it and the Skaven half from Skaventide. I think that would be really nice half and half, personally. But Andy?
So, to be quick, I'm going to say I'll take the Skaventide Stormcast, and I'm going to take the Khorne from the top.
Oh, nice.
Which is really sad. I don't want to give up the Skaven, but I'll mix it up anyway. Why not?
Sorry?
Skaventide. I'll be happy with both.
No, that's fair. It's tough.
In the interest of saving time as well.
Yeah. Ben?
If I didn't have the Nighthaunt half, then it would be the Skaventide Sigmarines plus the Nighthaunt from Soul Wars.
Okay. Yeah. Because you like the Nighthaunt, don't you?
I do like Nighthaunt models a lot.
Okay, that's cool. I'm glad we did that little bit as well, just to see what we kind of mix from each box. Let us know in the comments as well what you'd do, which you'd mix up, I suppose. Thanks for watching this clip. Please do like, comment and subscribe to Morehammer here, and check out the full weekly Warhammer podcast that this clip came from right here. And as always, happy wargaming.